Scott Walker was on TV, on Bloomberg TV, and he was asked about gay marriage and marriage equality, and he came up with this gem where he said that banning gay marriage is part of a healthy balance of LGBT rights. The stuff this guy comes up with is amazing. Check out the video, listen to the audio.
Said the focus ought to be on economic issues, and you shouldn't emphasize the social issues that are divisive. You also said that things like gay rights or anti-gay rights is a turnoff to young voters. The Senate, with some Republican support, passed a bill banning discrimination against gays. Should the House do the same?
Well, again, I haven't looked at that particular bill. I can tell you in Wisconsin, we've had anti-discriminatory laws that are very similar to that for more than 30 years, and they've worked quite effectively. So we're also a state that has a constitutional amendment that defines marriage.
So it's similar to the Wisconsin bill. The House bill should be something that...
Yeah, but it is. I mean, we've not had problems with that. We've had no problems, or I should say no, limited problems with that. At the same time, we still have a constitutional amendment that defines marriage. There's a healthy balance there.
Governor, let me...
Okay, so first of all, this idea that there's a healthy balance, right? On the one hand, we allow people who are gay to live in our country, and on the other hand, we prevent them from destroying the sanctity of marriage by having marriages themselves. This idea of a balance, Lewis, is completely absurd.
It's funny. He's defending this because they have some anti-discriminatory laws, but this is also a form of discrimination. So what he's saying is there's a balance, and that is, well, we can discriminate against them a little bit, just not total discrimination.
Right. Well, it's more like this. If rights are rights, right? He says we have a balance of LGBT rights where they have some rights and they don't have others. But if rights are rights, there is no such thing as a balance. You either have the rights you're entitled to, or you don't have the rights you are entitled to. Who decides whether the right balance of rights is available, like options on a car? I mean, it seems like Scott Walker thinks he does, but think about it in another context. Slavery was a healthy balance of human rights. Slaves were allowed to work for a while under the worst conditions possible, and maybe later on they were killed. It was balanced, Lewis.
I think, yeah, that seems like that logic is along the same lines as Scott Walker's.
The idea that we have a balance of rights where we don't give some, by definition, means that we have a discriminatory problem because rights are not being given. Scott Walker, I don't think, understands this analysis, though. He thinks, hey, you know, they're allowed to live, but we don't let them get married. That's balance.
I think all Scott Walker thinks about is re-elections and big business.